No, it's all good. It was ghee, and then I can't remember the name of it's like a type of red spice. And it might have been like a mix of several, and then it was these little pancake balls. I can't remember what they're called. Made of like
Pancakes what?
like pancake ball. Like they puff up a bit, and then you dip them in the ghee and the spice, and then you just eat it really. But it was
You're talking about chole bhature or puri or something?
yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but that sounds more familiar than the first one you said.
British person explaining in her own terms the
Yeah.
Indian cuisine. Me trying to figure out what it is.
Yes.
Funny thing.
Actually, thinking about it, where I grew up, there's a lot of farms, and so maybe people growing their own fruit and veg, or mostly vegetables, and then had their own livestock to me. And so on the way to school, you'd have to wait for the cows to cross the road. Like sometimes if you got stuck, there was no traffic, but there was like cows crossing the road, and sometimes 20 minutes for the cows being milked.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
The largest colony to
Hmm.
British. All right, India was the spice capital of the world. India built its spice empire, or like anything, or like roots and everything.
Mm.
And the most British cuisine, or like the most British thing, is jacked potato. Even today.
Is that CHAAT? Chat. Oh, sorry.
JACKET, jacked
I
potato.
haven't had that one.
She hasn't had that
No.
one, but that's the most thing. Nothing. Just a boiled potato, beans inside, or maybe salt. Like, come on, dude.
Oh, jacket potatoes.
Yeah, come on, dude. I was. Right. Hello there, UK now, since I'm talking to both sides of the sea now. So yeah, hello there, UK. Hello to my people listening in India as well. This is Siddhiraj, and you are listening or streaming in today's menu wherever you're watching me, on Amazon Prime or anywhere, wherever it may be. I'll get to that. So I am in London today again, GMT officially. And I'm in London today for the second time, not going to the airport. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Man, my last episode, I was like, I don't like London and everything. And I was here 3 days ago.
Yeah.
All right. And man, the city has, I'm a history buff. The city has got so much of history to it.
Yeah.
I can't say like the hotels and the luxury and a lot of things. Like, it's pretty good. But until still, when I'm talking to you, still Manchester. So let's see. The city has, like, as I said, a lot of history. Not that I'm in love with it yet, but I would say it's really admirable. So yeah, now only I wish some great street food would have been here, then you would touch Mumbai in terms of the food pinnacle. All right, in Mumbai, you go at 2-3 a.m. in the at night. Everything is like, there are the street foods are open, very good, nice food.
Yeah.
Hygienic one, addressing all the nonsense against India going on internet. Leave that alone. Anyways, that's, I would say, in terms of food culture. Anyways, Lettie today, who is with me, doesn't know that this is the surprise I had kept.
Okay.
That you are the episode 1 of season 3.
Yay! Season 3.
She's a part of it, and it's
Exciting.
it's a nice graceful start of season 3. So, surprise!
Yay!
So thank you for coming in. Thank you for every single effort which we have put in since last 3 months.
Yeah.
To sit over here on the new year of 26, almost the last week of January. So quickly to tell you about Lettie. Lettie is from Brighton and now stays in London for her job. She's in the marketing side, on the research marketing side. And she has visited several places, worked a little bit in Australia, British passport, for a brief period of time. Today, she is in marketing, as I said, and is into food as well, has a background in psychology just like me. And yeah, a lot of similarities. So today's conversation will be between a bit like an European girl, since I know the ethnicity she told me now, and an Indian boy, around different topics of culture, food, hospitality, psychology, marketing, from a very day-to-day specific point of view, not only superficial basis. All right. Before getting and starting into the conversation, in today's menu, people from her side who will be watching, or people in general who will be watching, who are watching me or listening to me for the first time. In today's menu is a podcast around food, culture, and hospitality, specifically 4 segments: careers, where you actually get to know different set of careers in hospitality in general; business journeys in hospitality, how there are unique businesses in hospitality, how people are running their cafes, the mom and pop shops, and different kind of projects, which we talked about in the last episode of season 2 with Richard. Very great concepts which you see in business journeys. Third one is quarter ke kisse, which is like drunk stories, what happened when people got high on alcohol. Very funny. You should check out last season's Andy's episode, English people or European people, if you're watching me, it's fun. And the last one is about food and culture, where we'll be talking also. I told food and culture, career, business journeys. Yeah, food and culture, yes. Which this conversation will be more or less around. This will be a blend of, again, a bit of hospitality and a bit of food and culture around British stuff. If there's any, she has to tell me. Let's see.
If it exists.
If it exists. I am gonna be very critical of British cuisine. I come from a very rich cuisine country. I am proudly say that. I'm not being arrogant. I have been tasting different kind of European cuisines. I'm still giving a benefit of doubt to Poland, Spain, and France. I have heard Indian chefs going crazy about French food and this and that. I'm like, okay, if Indian chef says so, let's see.
It must
be
true.
Something. So that's there. That's what it's gonna be all about. I'll be handing over to Lettie the conversation right now. Lettie, you said,
yes.
How are you feeling today? First, it's a sunshine morning in England.
It is a sunshine morning. That is quite infrequent. No. There's a little bit of blue sky hidden among the clouds, and it's quite sunny. It's lovely.
We are in Lettie's place, by the way, in London, but in her area.
Like a sunny Sunday morning. Looking forward to it. And obviously, you had a trip here, and I know it's had an early start, but I really appreciate you coming, and thank you.
let that be reflected on records, sponsorship, brands, and everything. Anyways, so how have you been, Lettie?
Really good, thank you. Settling into a new job. Both of my jobs have been in marketing, but the one now, as you mentioned, is more on the research side of marketing and healthcare, and so kind of interviewing lots of doctors and seeing their opinions and seeing how that then influences the kind of products. But I'm feeling good. I've had a good week. Looking forward to this conversation.
Right. So diving into it, I'm talking from if you ask me, I come from a very rural part, or maybe anywhere around those lines, but I have lived in cities for most of my life. If I tell you an average Indian cuisine, what you see over here is like very different. India has 28 states at the moment.
Yes.
Every goddamn state has different cuisine, from breakfast to lunch or dinner, whatever.
Yeah.
So my whole setup of staple food would be different, but a British staple food or an everyday thing would be different. How was it growing around in Brighton? That's first thing I want to ask. And we typically have seen, as on the foreign side, we have seen how British people live in the cities, like in terms of Leeds, maybe Liverpool or London or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Brighton is not a city or anything, but she is from the area of Brighton, not exactly. So how is it like growing as a British kid in general? In terms of culture and food.
I think kind of as we've discussed, I was living in Brighton for a period, but my true childhood was kind of more in the countryside. And so I think growing up in the countryside, there's some more, like cows and stuff like that. It's quite quiet and peaceful compared to then when I moved to Brighton. That was quite like wow, there's so much colour and life, and there's so much more to explore, I think. So it was very kind of peaceful, quiet, really lovely childhood. I think, going on lots of walks and seeing family and friends. Everything was quite far apart, so I think that was a little bit of a challenge, because it meant that if you don't have a car, the public transport infrastructure is just not really there to support.
I'll be putting subtitles, don't worry.
Yeah, okay. Am I speaking quickly?
No. Okay. It's your accent, you can't do anything about it.
Okay, sure. And so and then food, really, I think in yeah, in the countryside, maybe more so like when you get towards Cornwall or some other places as well by the coast. They
These are in the
do
southeast, right?
southwest.
Southwest.
So
Okay.
Brighton is the southeast, but
Mm.
I was more in the southwest.
Okay.
And so you get these things called pasties,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you've heard of them. But
Pasties.
yeah, exactly. They're like
I'll put a photo over here.
yeah, nice. It's like a flat bit of pastry, like
Mhm.
I think it's a circle, or you cut out a circle, and then you put the filling in and you fold it in half. And I think they're originally created for like workers. I don't know if it was like in the mines or like what exactly they came from, but I think the whole concept, if you'd like to look it up, is to have a full meal. And so I think the original one would be like beef and then kind of potato and carrot. So it's almost meant to be like that full meal within the pastry. And so I think that's a really interesting concept. And then there's things like shepherd's pie. So again, maybe beef and potatoes. So maybe that's just like a staple.
Shepherd's pie, man. I don't like it, honestly.
No, it's just
like yeah.
No, it's simple.
Specify, yes. Specify.
Yeah, so it's like
So you had one of the staples is shepherd's pie, right?
I'd say yeah, or like the staple. And I'm vegetarian now, but I think growing up, definitely like beef is quite like a staple meat. Beef and chicken probably.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I know in India that's very different. Although in some places,
right, yeah.
I know
it's good that you're culturally aware about it.
Yes. And yeah, so beef, chicken, pork as well. But yeah, I would say that it really, like when you simplify it down to kind of everyday meals, there is a lot of meat, potatoes, and veg. And I think, I don't know if that was like a post-war thing when there was a bit more scarcity and people were just kind of growing their own food and maybe had a small like allotment or a very small farm. Or I mean, actually thinking about it, where I grew up, there's a lot of farms, and so maybe people growing their own fruit and veg, or mostly vegetables, and then had their own livestock like cows, chickens. And then I knew plenty of friends who had their own chickens and they'd have their own eggs. I even knew some people, there was a dairy farm quite close to me, and so on the way to school you'd have to wait for the cows to cross the road. Like sometimes if you got there was no traffic, but there was like cows crossing the road, and sometimes 20 minutes for the cows being milked.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have that in India as well, where the cattle farmers or like they go, but that's more on the countryside, just like yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's not taking 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of cows to go through. Yeah, it's not just one or two. It's like the whole like maybe even 100, 150 lots, and sometimes they'll be very slow and just.
Have you tell me about this? So since I work at a place which is more on the European side at the moment, what's this toad in the hole thing?
Oh, toad in the hole. It's
the name sounds funny, but
it does sound actually it does sound really weird.
Yeah,
but it's
toad in the hole.
I've had it once or twice in my life, not many times.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
It's quite a British thing. What I have heard.
Yeah, it's like because it's a Yorkshire pudding, so that I've never made a Yorkshire pudding, but it's kind of like a pastry, but not the pastry you think of. I don't even know how you describe a Yorkshire pudding. It's like it's nice. I think it's probably got egg and flour and something else. I don't know how you make it.
The egg. I know. I'm aware about Yorkshire pudding. If you want to know more about Yorkshire pudding, there's a video on my Instagram about the whole Sunday roast. Have a look once.
Oh, great. I should have researched more. But yeah, and then there's you just put sausages in. And then I don't know, I'm assuming you can cook the sausages a bit before, and then like you half cook them, put them in, and then put it in the oven, and Bob's your uncle.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised that it isn't a staple. I thought it was one of the staples.
I think maybe more up north, but
yeah, up north.
Yeah,
right. England, even though it's very smaller than probably or around as the size of my state, it takes 12 or 14 hours to go from maybe London or the southernmost tip to Scotland, like 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
My place to Mumbai, it takes 10 hours.
Wow.
So considering the size and everything, even though that's the case, now I'm realizing that England or UK in general has different accents. Little bit of different things around with in terms of food and a little bit of culture. People are actually nicer up north. Not that Brighton is bad. Yeah, but as someone who has come from out, I would second that. Yeah. Not that southernmost people in London are bad, but anyways, I know why it goes on in British pop culture. I'm just referring to British pop culture, not in my opinion. Right. So that's there. So how was it like moving out from there then? Like considering you are into all of the
Yeah,
countryside
yeah,
area
yeah,
and then
yeah.
moving out from there and going,
Sydney.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think moving basically from southwest to southeast, so coming from the countryside to Brighton, I moved for university, so studying in Brighton, and it was definitely a kind of like a shock in terms of just like seeing all the different kinds of people who comes to Brighton, because I think there is, I mean, to be completely honest, Dorset is just very white and middle class, and so Brighton less white, less middle class, and kind of just has a lot more culture going on, and it's a melting pot. It's kind of like I'd say if London is like very multicultural, I'd say like Brighton has about 2/3 of that. So even moving from Brighton to London, I also then kind of was
More
able
cosmopolitan.
yeah, more
Yeah.
cosmopolitan. I mean, for example, I lived with some of your friends, and they kind of introduced me to more kind of traditional Indian cuisine, and that was great. It really opened my like flavor palette. It's quite spicy because I'm not so good at spice.
Okay.
And yeah,
But now you're slowly adapting to that.
exactly, and kind
Yeah.
of building that tolerance. But great, like really yummy food, like so good, and I love. There's I can't remember what it's called, but there's like when you mix ghee and then there's a little special type of like red spice.
If any French people are listening to me, one of the most competitive or like the closest like Europeans, I have told you this rate is like the French cuisine, the Indian cuisine. They have these two cuisines in their favorite. So not to compete with French people, but yeah, we are just there. We are just there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
It was yummy. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It was ghee, and then I can't remember the name of it's like a type of red spice. And it might have been like a mix of several, and then it was these little pancake balls. I can't remember what they're called. Made of like
Pancakes. What?
like pancake ball. Like they puff up a bit, and then you dip them in the ghee and the spice, and then you just eat it really. But it was I can't remember what the flour was made of, but it was a special type of flour. I don't think it was wheat flour. It's a different type of flour.
You're talking about chole bhature or puri or something?
Puri sounds familiar.
Okay.
Because again, depending.
It was a puffy thing.
Yeah, but quite small, like this big. Because obviously, sorry, your friend is from a different part. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but that sounds more familiar than the first one you said.
British person explaining in her own terms the
Yeah.
Indian cuisine. Me trying to figure out what it is.
Yes.
Funny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's carry on. It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I really had to say on that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, when you apart from the shepherd's pie or anything around those lines. Oh, by the way, as she said, Dorset is quite white, middle class and stuff about
Yeah.
the ethnicity. I have
Yeah.
another friend of mine, or like a colleague who is quite young. He's 22. So he was telling me about he lives in the same area
Yeah.
around, and
Yeah.
he was telling me how that whole area is like mostly white,
Yeah.
and how they don't have very less exposure to like all of these things. It quite got me intriguing to ask him more questions. Oh, then how does it work? Oh, how's the British cuisine like? What do you guys exactly eat? Because I have never ever seen much of British cuisine. I was surprised about it.
Yeah.
And then all you have been left with beans on toast.
I don't like beans on toast. It's so soggy.
Exactly.
So soggy.
And then
separately.
I think to myself that, come on, man, like that's it you're having. I'll share my complaints with you later.
Oh, yeah, whole list.
Yeah. So I'll come to that. What else have you got to share with typical countryside British cuisine or anything around those lines to shed lights on? We are anyways
I like that.
Because anyways we are gonna be breaking most British stereotypes just quickly.
Yeah. I think I would say that most of the stuff that I grew up with was mostly, as I kind of mentioned, like the potatoes, the meat, and the vegetables. Like, yes, of course, there might be a risotto.
And the vegetables which they have is like, there are two ways to look at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are just literally boiled vegetables. Maybe
quite often, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe in salt or like whatever you add in that.
Spice,
okay, that's there. No spice at all. These guys got pepper from outside. So I'm leaving that whole side. I'm gonna be very critical of British cuisine in this one, so forgive me for that. And and with that, it's like literally boiled veggies in water and everything. Now to look at it from one side, you don't have the depth and the flavorful stuff in your own palate, right? And we do. So just having it like that, it's like not satisfying your soul or having a good eating
No.
experiences at all, talking from a very Indian
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
But on the other side, it's the most healthiest thing to have in general.
Yes, but I think there's variety.
Hmm.
Like it lacks the variety because quite often it is just that. And I
Hmm.
think sure, like in shepherd's pie, yeah, you might do add in like onions and garlic and a little bit of spice and a bit of stock, but like that's nothing. It's basically
That's
just
nothing.
adding salt.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
really adding anything.
yeah, exactly.
And so I think for me, and we can get on more to this later, but I definitely have strayed away from that. And I really, I mean, you can see here, you can't see here, but I have quite a few nice spices. And I like to add spice. My favorite spice is smoked paprika. I love cumin as well, really good. And I like to try and also, because it's great for your gut microbiome, just saying, 30 plants a week is really good. And so I try and have that kind of diversity now that I've grown up and kind of gone away. But yeah, I would say that it is based a lot around, as you say, the kind of the potatoes, the meat and the vegetables, and they are mostly boiled. You don't really do much. And yeah, like as I said, there was like risotto, but that's again Italian, or you have
risotto is Italian.
Yeah, risotto.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh no,
I thought it was like, because we serve it in our place as well. So I thought risotto was more on, it's an English thing.
No, it's Italian. I guess it's European, so it's more Italian.
Okay.
But yeah, and you think about like maybe for example again like pasta and like creamy pasta sauce, but again that's Italian. Like think about like there's a type of pasta that's something like I'm probably going to pronounce it not quite right, but like tricolore, which is like 3 colors. And so basically you're having 3 colors within the food, and I think it's like tomatoes, basil. Again, it's like it's adding a bit more in, but it's still not as flavorful, and the kind of a spice, the depth of the spice and the flavor that Indian cuisine has really. Yeah.
Right. Let me start with my complaints.
Oh, can you not?
First things first.
Yeah.
Okay, I have joked. I do stand up as a passion, just for like a hobby. I have joked and bashed this a lot of times. Okay, but India was the largest colony to British. All right, India was the spice capital of the world. India built its spice empire, or like anything, or like roots and everything. And the most British cuisine, or like the most British thing, is jacked potato. Even today.
Is that CHAAT, chat? Oh, sorry.
JACKET, jacked potato.
I haven't had that one.
She hasn't had that one, but that's the most thing. Nothing. Just a boiled potato, beans inside, or maybe salt. Like, come on, dude.
Oh, jacket potatoes.
Yeah. Come on, dude. I was like, you had cinnamon, you had the different kinds of red spices. Nothing taken, nothing. All right, you had like 25% of the GDP back in the time, all right, India had. That's a whole different thing. You took all of that, but didn't take any of the spices.
I can't explain.
Why did you come to the country? And the whole, what's a joke about it? British started to deal with India because of spices.
Yeah, the spice road, isn't it?
Exactly. They wanted the spice route. I know it had money, but you had spices and giving it to the world, making. Why didn't you use it?
Why use it now? It's too late.
Man, I was so I'll be honest with that. I have been living away from my home quite for like 15 years now.
Yeah.
And what I thought to myself was like, oh, we are going to another city. Oh, we are going to now main city. Oh, we are just changing state. And then when I was coming over here, I was like, oh, what's the big deal? We are just changing countries. Like it's just like another living experience from your home. But no,
very different.
Very
different. Probably couldn't get more diverse.
Yeah, no, that's about diversity. I thought that it would be nothing different. Apparently, it would be better, because considering that Britain is a country with a lot of things sorted, which India is still to sort in terms of like a lot of basic stuff. I was like, okay, it's not a big deal. It would be better experience, but no, everything is fine. The food is not.
The food doesn't hit. No.
Yeah, and is it so? Breaking the stereotypes we start with, is British food bland and simple? Would you say that? From a very British perspective, I'm gonna ask it. You can be honest.
I think
people in the comments, help her out.
Thank you. Thank you. I think for me, as I was talking about kind of the growing up with like shepherd's pie and that sort of thing, and even the pasties and all that stuff, it's like it's food, but it's not deeply flavorful. You know, salt will bring out any flavor, but it's not a flavor of itself. It's more like, but then if there is so much flavor to bring out, then
I'll talk about salt tax, which British imposed on India. Very
salt
interesting.
tax.
Yes, salt
Ooh,
tax.
okay, I'm curious.
See, these. I'm not gonna go into politics. Carry on.
I didn't know about the salt tax.
Yeah.
But sorry, I've lost my train of thought. But I think, could you mind repeating the question? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Do you think, considering what experiences you have right now,
Yes,
with all the cuisines and everything, is British food bland or simple?
Yeah, it definitely still is simple, and that's why I've strayed away from it. We'll get into my kind of cooking style soon, but I don't really kind of cook proper kind of in-depth meals. I'll do a couple, you know, something that might take a few hours maybe on the weekend, but day to day I'll kind of just put together like a starch or a grain.
London's economic life.
And then I'll do like a protein, because I'm vegetarian, so I say protein, not like meat or whatever. And that could be like beans, that could be tofu, that could be anything. And then I'll do like the vegetables, and then I'll just like mix that together in like a nice kind of sauce or something like that. And so that's like my go-to. But in terms of English food being bland, I would say, yeah, like if I'm entirely honest, it is bland, and I think that's why I've strayed away from it, because it's not very exciting. And whenever I look up a recipe, I much prefer like a Mexican or Italian recipe. But also, you don't really get like British recipes when you think about it. Or like whenever I'm looking online, maybe I'm also not looking for British. Like I would say like there's maybe better, like, again, I don't know what actually is like British anymore.
Do the spirits of the British officers who are in India regret now for not taking anything, honestly?
No spice. You had all the spice, but you took none.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. To tell
That's
you about the
crazy.
history, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like India is at such a place where it took spices from the Middle East, from Indonesia, from everything. And it was like you had literally everything. And it was to such an extent, Lettie, where if you wanted to buy pepper from us, like from the Indian side, it was certain set of people who could only buy pepper. So what you could do is, like, if you want to trade or like negotiate about pepper, you put your hands, I'll put my hands, I'll put a black cloth on top, and then we will do the finger things or like finger quotes, and then we'll negotiate how much I'm gonna sell you the pepper. It was that level of
special
like encryption, like protection. And from there, where India went to under British control fully, and then you see why my complaint is valid. So it's like, it feels in a way kind of sad in a way, jokes apart, that you like the British cuisine didn't develop in a way, sympathizing in a way. I would really like, it's not that it's bad, it's a cultural thing. I have my own comfort food as well. British people might have their own comfort food, which is simple and bland, but India adapted to like different kinds of spices. I feel British should have done the same thing. I'm not going me versus them. I'm just talking from a sympathetic, considerate point of view for a development of a food side of things. That's there. But I will give you, I promise you, I'll give you, British cuisine still stays one of the most healthiest cuisines. I'll explain more about that. Please carry on what you were saying.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense in terms of, I guess it's, you know, if it's bland, it's going to be like healthy. Like, for example, think about a boiled egg. Like, if you add nothing to it, of course it's going to be like better, but then it'll be a lot more tasty if you add pesto, or it'll be a lot more tasty if you add like spices, or, you know, like it'll be better. But but it will be like well, no, spices aren't spices are actually like, they're good for you, and a variety of spices are really good for you. And as I said, the gut microbiome, something I really like. Gut health, very important. So yeah, maybe stuff that's like, for example, I think about Italian cuisine, I think it's quite heavy on the cream. Maybe I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong. But you know, that I think it's like can include slightly unhealthier fats, and obviously then if that's like your staple and you're having that all the time, then obviously that won't be the healthiest. Like, I don't think you know, everything in moderation, but yeah, I would say it's relatively healthy. But for example, if you're eating like the bland food, but then you're snacking all the time and you're having crisps, you're having like Coke, you're having all these like ultra processed foods, of course, it evens it out. Exactly. It's not gonna have that kind of impact. But yeah.
So another, so when I say about, you know, British comfort food and stuff, British old British people are, my opinion, very nice, very sweet, very polite, very cultured, mannered. Honestly, I love interacting with them. Yeah, and when they have their own taste, man, and it's been a long time for them adapting and stuff. So they have their own comfort food, and that's why when I bash British food very badly, that's a whole different thing. But I'm also considerate about the point that okay, I have been having certain level of spice. I cannot, if I go about that, I will be in trouble. But at the same time, I will be adapting to it. There, it's been their time. I don't know if you might have heard of it, rice and lentil curry. Do you know that, the yellow one?
I think about dal.
It's called that, yeah, dal-chawal. So that's a typical, very comfort food. A lot of Indians,
great.
exactly.
Yeah.
So for some people it's not healthy, but for some people, some people would think that it's good comfort food, which I like. So British people also have their own comfort food. They want to stay in over there if you are very much adapted. I have a colleague of mine who is very old, 61, and he just can't take in spice, not even in minimal thing. So I don't entirely blame him. He's a very British person. He has never tasted or like lived in a very white majority area. You can't blame him. So that's there. And apart from that, so if you go the dal chawal reference, that's where I said it works in a certain way where you just didn't interact a lot with international side of it. And if you say it's the same thing, if you come to the countryside of India, people would just throw the jack potato away and would call you stupid for what are you doing.
What is that?
Yeah, that's it, that's all you are gonna have is they are gonna ask, are you stupid, is gonna be coming the next question. Honestly, it's like, you go to your grandmother's house and you are like, oh, you are so thin, what went wrong, and that's all you are gonna have. Are you stupid? No, have 4 flours or like tortillas or like whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know that how India became a tea drinking country?
Is it I might be really, really off with this. Is it something to do with the Boston Tea Party with the boat that sank, or is that really?
No, that's a whole
separate.
different. That's a whole different.
So I actually know.
Yeah. So yeah.
No.
Okay. Now what happened was China had tea. Strongly, and British people had their ego. So what happened was they wanted tea, but apparently they had to give gold and silver or anywhere just to get the teas and everything around those lines. So and trade was very, again, squeezed, very encrypted. You can't like take it out or anything around those lines. So what they did was they smuggled tea to India.
Smuggled it?
Yeah, they smuggled tea to India. And tea,
so British people were they smuggled tea from China
to India
to bring it to India?
No, so to break China's monopoly on tea.
Oh, to say like, oh, China can't have all the power, we want some of the power.
So it's a basic thing that if I'm the only country in the world having tea, I can cost you like, give me 400 pounds for this.
No.
Exactly. But you can't say no, because tea was having a huge value in the market because only China was producing it.
So then if you bring it to India, and then it's like India has some of that shared.
Yeah, so again, and this is where India was Britain's colony, so they could do whatever they want in few parts and stuff. So they smuggled tea, they grew tea over here, and some of the best tea now India has, honestly, because of this one reason. And that's how it happened. And then India grew a lot of tea. Not that we don't have coffee. India is a very large, vast country. 7th largest country is a big deal now, considering what I see over here. And then that happened. We started growing tea, and it's a normal thing. What is gonna be growing in your garden, you are gonna taste it. You are gonna get accustomed to it, and that's how India in general became a tea drinking country, just like Britain.
Very interesting.
And of course, you are taking it from your colony for like 50 cents or like 4 cents. Giving no 2 cents about the people who are making it and treating their exploitation, proper exploitation. So that's how it happened, and India became a tea drinking country.
Okay.
Are you a tea drinker? What, from a British point of view, you would say about tea?
I love tea. I think, contrary to most British people, though, I prefer Earl Grey. I'm sorry.
What's to be sorry about that?
Well, because I think a lot of people have Earl Grey and they're like, yuck, because it's like, for example, my mother, she came to visit recently, and she's like, no, I'm not having that. Like, I don't want it.
Earl Grey.
Yeah, because Earl Grey has more of like a floral
So
taste.
sorry.
Yeah.
Earl Grey, just like there are different kinds of teas we have in
Yes.
India, which is Darjeeling tea,
Yeah.
Assam tea, Red Label tea, whatever.
Yeah.
Earl Grey is just one kind or type of
Yes.
tea in England. Please
Yes.
carry on.
So Assam is kind of like, I would say, is the main kind of black tea we have over here that we use, as far as I'm aware.
Mhm.
And so then Earl Grey is more of this kind of floral taste. I think it's a bit more like bergamot, so it has that kind of florally taste to it. And then what else? I used to have it actually when I was younger, and I think maybe having it in that family setting actually brings some form of comfort. And so I just prefer Earl Grey, but then I also love herbal teas. I love like chamomile. I also really, do you know rooibos?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, is that what you're saying? Red Label, is that?
No, Red Label is like a brand in India.
Fine.
Not sponsored.
Because there's also rooibos is also called Red Bush, so I wasn't sure if red just meant something.
I got it now.
Yeah. And what other kinds? Oh, like there's a mint and fennel I have in my cupboard right now. It's so good. Great for digestion, like peppermint.
British tea obsession for you guys.
Peppermint, lemon and ginger. Like I also love making my own tea. Like doing it with like freshly grated ginger. So good. And then lemon juice and cinnamon and a bit of honey. It's really good, especially if you're sick or like.
Cut her some slack. She's a British person. What you're saying is very normal to do in India.
Yeah.
But like that's there.
Yeah.
But if I say this, I'll be getting a huge backlash in the comments.
Oh. If you say what?
Cultural thing. So it's like, being posh or anywhere around those lines kind of thing. But yeah, you carry on.
Okay. But yeah, and I remember your friend, when I was living with her, I remember that she made, she was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to make you some tea when I first moved in, actually, because we didn't know each other before that point. And she was like, I'm going to make you some chai. And I was like, oh, yum. And then I was like, oh, do you have a tea bag I could have? And she was like, what bag? She was like, no, I'm going to make you the proper stuff. And she had this pot, and it was from India, like real tea. I was like, oh yeah, thank you so much. And she made it, with milk and cardamom, and I think there's a few other spices in there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but definitely cardamom. You could feel that. Quite sweet as well.
Yeah, the elaichi chai basically.
Yeah, that sounds right. And then kind of making it a bit thicker with milk, properly, because I think in the UK often what is done and what we do is we it's mostly water and then a splash of milk. But I quite like it.
I found it very, very weird when I saw it for the first time.
What is that?
Oh yeah, this is tea. I was
you
like,
call this tea?
Yeah. Please finish.
Yeah. I was just going to say that, but it's a slightly not backwards way of doing it, but they suggest actually, and there's a company. It's funny because it's called Tea India, but how Indian it is probably not at all. But that's their brand and not sponsors. And
thank you.
Yeah, and they have these tea bags, and they suggest you can kind of boil it in the milk. But again, you're kind of boiling a tea bag in the milk, and it kind of has that thickness and the flavor. But you need to at least do a couple of tea bags because it's like you're trying to replicate, how you're saying, with the friend when she was making it, she was doing it the proper actual loose leaf tea. And I think that just has so much more depth and flavor in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is not sponsored, but I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, I have a good, nice senior of mine. PMDT is something. It's very, 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 very high depth quality tea, Lettie. If you're a huge
I'm
fan,
making a note. PMDT.
Yeah, PMDT. I am more than happy to say that I'm endorsing it. Even though I'm a coffee person. So if I am a coffee person and I'm saying that tea is good, that tea is really good with nice depth. And there are different kinds of concepts of tea that I'm coming off, the way British people drink it, the way Ceylon tea is, and the way Indian tea is. So this one is a Ceylon tea, and the depth and the richness is, no words, pinnacle. Honestly, really it's but it's a little bit expensive. But D2C is something they're still starting.
D2C?
I can get you some things to try.
Yeah.
Okay. So very beautiful. Please give it a shot. Dhananjaya was here anyway, and I can second that. I am not someone who gets easily sold for money. This is not a paid episode again, but this is something genuine recommendation, since you said a lot of these things, because the depth and if you are here and you're making it in the kitchen, right, I can smell it, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Is it a type of black tea? Or like
It's the same set of teas, rooibos
okay.
and everything, but Ceylon, Sri Lankan tea.
Sri Lankan.
Yeah, and
Okay,
it's
okay.
way beautiful. Like
Okay.
really, really good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's whole own set of like kind of tea spectrum. Just
Fine,
like
fine,
how
fine.
an Indian tea is like
Yeah.
thick, you saw.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ceylon tea on its own is a different set.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've actually tried it.
I'll get you some, but beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing, and like you should give it a try, considering what you said and how nicely you are fascinated by teas.
Yeah.
What are your favorite dishes as a local in British cuisine? Just quick names, and because I want to ask you, what are your favorite cuisines in the rankings?
Fine.
Yeah.
So when you're saying like in British cuisine, are we talking about the shepherd's pie, or can it be like anything?
Anything
Okay.
in British cuisine. If there is a thing called as
Yeah,
British
that's
cuisine.
the thing. I don't think it really exists, because I have to say, like, I have a real soft spot for like.
I guess it's like the same thing as American cuisine.
It doesn't exist. It's everything's imported from everywhere else, really, and it's stolen, really. Well, I say stolen, but it's
not stolen, but adapted, I would say.
Yeah, copied, and yeah. So I'd have to say I have a real soft spot for Middle Eastern food. So I love falafel, and there's also something called tabbouleh. I don't know if that's actually from like Middle Eastern region, but also just like falafel, pomegranate hummus. I also love kind of like Greek food, and I think I like quite like light and fresh, like salady couscous. But then I also do like
salady couscous is Italian, right?
It might be.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I feel like quite often you have like a grain with the falafel. Maybe it isn't a couscous, but it's something similar. If it's not couscous, it might be. I don't think it's quinoa though. It's not quinoa and it's not bulgur wheat. It's like it's like a small thin grain that you normally have, and it might be couscous. But yeah, that's like a really good fail-safe. It's like, if I'm going to kind of have something, maybe like tapas, that kind of like stuff with aubergine, like baba ganoush, that stuff I love. Very vegetarian as well, which I think helps. Obviously there's stuff like with lamb or that sort of thing, but I think I like the fresh.
So Mediterranean, I would say.
Mediterranean, yeah, I would say that's definitely like
on a broader level. Yeah. Okay, so your top one is Mediterranean.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay, and then.
Well, Mediterranean is quite like a large area.
Yeah, but still, that includes like Greek, Turkey, falafel, and everything.
True.
So if you keep Mediterranean on top, what's the second one?
I'd probably have to say it in Italian, just because of all it encompasses. Then I'd probably say stuff like Mexican stuff, like with beans, tortilla, and just like all that kind of beany good stuff, and like tacos and like avocado, and like when you have like burritos, like yum. Then I would have to say Indian's quite high up there. Like I definitely like it, and I feel like
I was just thinking, okay, top 3 is not
because as I said, kind of living with your friends, I got to try all these things. I really liked Poha.
Please.
Oh, sorry.
Great. Please continue, but please tell the world that Indian cuisine is not only about curry. Once.
It's not only about curry. I can confirm that.
Carry on. Yeah,
there's
Poha,
so much more. Poha, and that's really yummy. And then also, I also like the amount of peanuts and coriander used. I love peanuts. And yeah, coriander. And I started to really get a feel for the flavor palette and kind of the spices used. I really love the flavor. I would say tiny bit spicy for me sometimes, but that's because I'm not good with spice anyway, and I don't really have spicy food. And because I don't have the spicy food, I think I did notice that when I was living together with him that I definitely like enhanced, because I remember one of your friends, they were like, like try it, it might be a bit spicy. I was like, actually this is okay now, and that was after living there for a couple of months. So it was like, okay.
You're talking about Poha specifically?
Not specifically Poha, because that's, I'm trying to remember. It was like, was Poha
the rice flakes kind of puffed rice?
Because that's not spicy at all on its own. Sorry.
Okay. Good adaptation. Nice. Good adaptation.
But then, what do we have it with? It might have been.
It can be had with a little bit of like, it's curry originally, but it's kind to explain you in English terms. It's kind of a curry, or maybe you can have it with Lord, I can't explain in English terms, man.
No, that's okay. Explain how you want it.
Yeah, it's called save. It's like crispy yellow color thing. If you can have that Poha with that. If you're specifically talking about it.
I think I'm trying to remember. I tried so much food, it's all kind of, I've got a bit muddled in my head. I also liked idli. Are those the...
Oh, idli, yeah. The rice puffed cakes kind of something.
Yes.
That is what you say it in English. Forgive me for this.
I think it was actually, you know how I was trying to explain the pancake? I think that's what I meant. It was the idli. And then because you dip that then in.
Okay.
That, yeah? Yeah.
Ha.
And there's so many other things.
Oh, it's a white color thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think all white or like little bit yellow.
Yeah,
Maybe it was
more or less.
spices.
It depends. Yeah.
But I also really liked the amount of onion used. I love onion. Onion, coriander, peanuts. I noticed was a staple. And then putting it all together, and it was really good. I liked it. And then what comes next? I think that's probably like my main like cuisines. And then, as I said, I just tend to mix like stuff. And so that's quite simple. But when I feel like cooking, or if I go out to eat or that sort of thing, then I'd probably go for that sort of food, really.
Mediterranean, Mexican, Italian, Indian.
And then whatever is left is like underneath. I know I'm missing out a huge. Well, no, I also really like.
I still am to rank Japanese and Chinese, but Chinese is very, very spicy. It's spicy to me as well. Apparently, I don't know if it because my Chinese friend when I was in university had made it, spicy or like. But if that's the spice level of Chinese, like it's way like above like.
Yeah.
It gives a tough competition to an Indian spice, and Japanese is like as it is, dude.
Yeah.
And no complaints. It's like their own culture. Very high respect for Japanese culture, culinary stuff. Honestly, very precision is top notch. I really admire that about it. But honestly,
I think I've also just changed my mind because I remembered some stuff that I've forgotten about. So like,
carry on.
Let's keep that ranking as it is. But also somewhere in between all of these is like I really love sushi, and obviously that's Japanese. But I also like what other Japanese things are there? Just like kind of that light or like tempura stuff, like that kind of lightly deep fried. Lightly deep fried sounds like a weird statement, but it's like a light batter. And then I also really like pho. Do you know pho? It's like PHO.
I guess it's a Southeast Asian thing, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. It's like a kind of broth, often with bean sprouts and other vegetables. I also quite like pad thai. So actually, I think I like
Southeast Asian again.
Yeah, Southeast Asian. So it's like I think I like a lot, but I think it's also like I tend to have that stuff less only when I go out to eat. So it's not that I like it less. I just have it less frequently because I'm not trying to spend all my money in London because London's expensive.
Not expensive than Milton Keynes.
Interesting.
It's a joke kind of, but okay.
Okay.
You tend to believe that tells everything.
Well, I've never been I've been to Yorkshire a few times, but I really haven't been up north much.
Milton Keynes is like 45 minutes up from London.
Yeah. I thought it was further away. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In all of this, so I can tell you, it's not efficient. So about different kind of cuisines, what I have my observation from talking to a lot of European people over here, rankings which I have seen is like first anywhere is either of these three cuisines: French, Italian, Mexican, Indian. Every single European is going to rate either of this at first. And then their ranks may change however their personal preference might be. So Mexican, French, Italian, Indian, anywhere they can change rank. This is the most. Mediterranean is something which I found for the first time from you, but that doesn't mean it's not. It's very beautiful over here. But the sad part I feel is just because European people cannot tolerate a lot of spice, they just dilute it, man. And then you are not able to experience the authentic, nice spice, flavorful depth. That's the sad part. I feel not their fault. They are here to make business. They are here to earn pounds. They are here to cater these people. It's all right. And what in all of this, so you see a lot of international cuisines around. Do you think it has had any influence on the British side of food?
Well, I mean, I think the obvious thing to say is that I feel like because British cuisine doesn't really. Not that it doesn't exist, but there's not like
it is. I would say now, in my experience, very limited. Very limited.
Very limited, quite bland. So I think any influence that we kind of got, we're like, yes, please, come on in. You guys, come this way, please. And so I also love kind of Caribbean food. I also love like plantain, and this is more Nigerian, but also I've tried something called fufu, which is like there's these like it's made with yam, and you can buy it in these boxes in like international food shops, mostly African kind of food shops. And I always love them because they're so beautiful and they have the vegetables out the front. I'm like, oh, so inviting. And so you can also get it in these boxes. You can obviously make it yourself, but I think it takes a long time because the yam isn't powdered. You have to like cook it and mush it, and it takes a longer process. But that's a fresher way of doing it. But you can buy it in a box, and then you mix it together with water, and then you dip this in like I think it's called swallow. You kind of do this, and then you dip it in different kind of things. And you can obviously, it's very versatile. You can put it with a lot of things. But yeah, I love like little. I don't know if you've ever. I think you said you haven't been to London much, but there's a place in Shoreditch called Brick Lane, and they have wonderful street food there. And one of the things.
Until what time is it open?
What's the time? Well, Shoreditch isn't far from here.
No, I was talking in terms of like at night, how much at what time.
I don't think it's a nighttime thing. It's more of a daytime thing.
I would really want London to have a nightlife street food. It would just enhance the whole food culture overall. Honestly,
true. That's a good point. I hadn't
yeah,
thought about
you go to Mumbai anytime, man. Like you
still going.
Yeah, and you will still find good food. It's not like some shit food or like nonsense food, or like you won't like it. You would absolutely like it. As a matter of fact, if you mess around anywhere, if you go for night food, high chances you would go and repeatedly have it. So, yeah, and it's the same in Pune, which is like city which I told you, and that's the case.
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah, I think it's more of a daytime thing, unfortunately. But
but yeah, Shoreditch,
but I would say the thing that we do have open in the same way, obviously it's not the same and it's not street food, but you know, the only parallel we have really is like a kebab shop that's open till like 2-3 a.m. But that's more for like people going on a night out and wanting to have like a burger or something, rather than actually street food. Like it's different, it's a different feel. But yeah, quite often I'll see like a beautiful food stand, and they're doing like rice and beans, but also like with plantains. Sometimes they even do like fried banana, and this is more kind of like Jamaican kind of ones, and often they'll just be kind of like,
we completely forgot about the Jamaican and those side.
But
Nigerian people love biryani over that pilau rice. All right, it's an interesting insight I got to know.
I didn't know that.
Nigerian people are very mad for biryani.
Noted.
My experiences, my opinion. #opinion. Please.
And often, like on a street food scene, you know, they'll be kind of barbecuing, and there'll be like a blasting reggae, and I love reggae, so I'm like, yay! It does this thing to my soul, and it kind of just calms me down, and and I just love the food, and often, you know, maybe there'll be a bit of avocado, and like often there'll be like it depends if it's obviously Jamaican or Caribbean, but often they'll have like huge avocados. I don't know if you've seen this, and I don't know, like I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does India grow avocados or not?
I haven't seen it much. Okay. But sadly, narrative-wise and you know, by the marketing and everything, avocado is a elite class food.
Well, I think
because it's possibly because it's not grown too much. Also, it's exported and it's very and it's very costly.
Yes.
Not that it's a bad or anything around those lines, but if you are eating avocado, you are not considered a middle class person or anything in India.
No, it makes sense. And I think also
that's the general perspective. Okay, and it's very badly, if you are having an avocado, you're considered not a middle class or like whatever you want to say.
But also like the air miles, and it's really bad for the environment. I'm aware of that.
Exactly.
And I have them as like a special treat because I think. But the thing is that Lidl now sell them very cheaply, which isn't great, because then it also shows they're getting them in bulk and they're importing them. And obviously you can buy it in different places. But yeah, the point I was going to make was, you know, like the avocados. I don't know which country. Maybe we import them from like Spain or Italy.
South America.
Oh, okay. So Spanish speaking, just not Spain. And they'll just be like this size, but you see like the Caribbean ones, and they're like huge, they're like chunky, big ones. And so it's like, you don't get these around here. So it's like you have to go to special shops. They don't just sell it in the supermarket, which also makes sense because supermarkets are a weird concept. It's like you basically reduce the cost that you're paying everyone, and you put it all in one place, and it's so easy and convenient, and you're reducing. That's a separate story, but
So interesting that. It's a good perspective for you from to it's, I would say again, this I would reiterate this, Britain or in UK in general is very very lucky
Mm.
in those terms,
Mhm.
keeping the bad side of it aside of the immigration, that the world wants to be here in a way,
Hmm.
and because of that you have got a lot of international exposure in terms of food, and in terms of culture
Mm,
and
mm, mm,
everything,
mm, 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 mm.
understanding people are adapting and stuff. So great food culture from different sides of the world you are experiencing in your own country is, personally I would say, a thing.
Hmm.
India had this one big university back in the time. It's the same thing how UK's education and stuff is famous. India
Hmm.
had its own time in terms of its education was very prosperous, and
Hmm.
world students or international students used to come and study in India.
Hmm.
So that's a good thing. Now getting into the little bit history, as I went into, as
Mhm.
I told you, I will tell you this on mic
Uh-huh.
for 3 to 4 things. Yeah. And so about the history and stuff, where Britain is right now lucky that a lot of people are over here, since it had 25% of, like, one-fourth of the world under its control and
Uh-huh.
everything. Interesting thing for you to let you know, and a lot of things which are not taught apparently in the in the British education system about a lot of things. Since this is the same guy I'm talking about, when I was conversing with him, and he was like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, oh, you aren't taught about these
Hmm.
things in your history. And I'm like, okay. So this is where I told you Indians had to once give exam to dine with the British people back in the times which I had mentioned. So there are two sides to look at it. Okay, one can be controversial, and the other one is like, which you, she's a British and she countered me on that, and I told her about the other side of it, which I'm going to tell her now.
Hmm.
So considering that, British people and everything, how India back in the time was considered, unhygienic, because, and it's
Hmm.
not unhygienic.
Hmm.
India was good in a lot of terms, but when you exploit a lot of people, you get a big poor class,
Hmm.
and you're surviving, you're not living there to, like, make your life better.
Hmm.
So when you come
Hmm.
from such a class, and then when you dine with the British people who are already posh, or like in a higher economic social strata, the eating habits are different.
Hmm.
So now if I eat with my hands in front of you, you
Hmm.
won't find it weird, but it could be considered unhygienic considering the all circumstances and medical science and conditions back in the time in the 1940s and 30s.
And if you've washed your hands, it's fine.
The perception of
Hmm.
that time was very different.
Hmm.
Okay, so when you British people or European people are eating with cutlery, again,
Hmm.
cutlery started for the very same reason that your hand shouldn't be
Hmm.
transferring germs or anything in the food, which will cause you deadly diseases. And this is where I'm talking about the time where there was
Hmm.
Black Death, there was
True.
all of that
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. Okay.
So when British people had the etiquettes and mannerisms, I see over
Hmm.
here now, and now I get to, it looks very posh from my point of view. The way they have it, the way they use the cutlery and everything, very, very, very elegant, man. It looks very elegant. And then,
Also depends how you hold it. There's two ways of
yeah,
holding it. But sorry,
exactly.
go
And
on.
then you come from a culture where eating with hands is very normal.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad at all.
Mm,
We are talking about the 1930s and 40s, where
mm,
things were very different in hygiene and medical
mm,
sciences
mm,
and
mm,
everything.
mm,
Where if I'm using a syringe on you, I will just boil it and use it for another
mm,
person. That was the case. This is
mm,
what the time we are talking
mm,
about.
mm,
So Indians had to give exams to understand the etiquettes and mannerisms on the
mm,
table when you're dining with British people.
mm,
This is the other side of it,
mm,
where why they did what they did.
mm,
It was, of course, it was like Indians were treated second class citizens
mm,
in their own country, no doubt about it. That was a contributing factor as well, that you have to give an exam if you want to dine with amongst the British people.
mm,
Now I understand it has a whole different view, that you're not treating it right, but as I told you about the another set of view as well. And
mm.
then you are like, now some people find it disgusting that you're eating it with hands and everything, and all those sides to it as well.
Yeah.
So
Have a
that
different
is
perspective.
that is how
Yeah.
it is. But I am,
Mm.
I get into the why of it rather
Mm.
than just getting angry, oh it is
Yeah, yeah,
weird and
yeah.
everything.
True,
So
true, true.
that's why it all happened, and that
Mm.
is how it was. Talking about the salt tax side of it,
Oh, yeah.
which I told you,
Mm.
salt was something very hard to get, and
Mm.
again you have to pay a lot of money to get it. So now if you want to have salt in India and put that in your food, the British taxed it.
And what
Now
period was this? What time?
it's the same time. We are talking from
90.
1870s to
Okay.
like 1940s.
Okay.
And so if you're having salt in your food, you're already privileged in India. Back at again 1940s, 50s, I'm
Mm.
talking about.
Okay.
Very interesting stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, not a good thing, but again, so it's like, again, you are going into that country, you are exploiting their own resources, and
Mm.
if they want to buy those resources, you are taxing them for the same thing.
Mm.
And like British left India in a very, very bad state,
Mm.
considering like what exactly. And when you saw like 80% of the population was drowned into poverty,
Mm.
something like salt was a elite privilege.
Mm.
Because first things first, it's expensive, and then you are taxed for it.
How much were they taxed? You know,
Anywhere between 48 to 52, rough estimates
on
what
top
I
of
have
what the
learned.
price already.
Yeah, exactly. So it was,
You can't
these
afford
are,
it.
yeah, it's, these few things are bad.
Mm.
So that was the case.
Mm.
And it has two sides to it. And this salt tax doesn't make any sense. It was just to, there are a lot of laws like the Rowlett Act, which was
Mm.
about like, doesn't matter if I found you suspicious, I'm gonna pick you up.
What's it called? The Rowlett Act.
The Rowlett Act, yeah.
I don't
The
know.
Rowlett Act was
Yeah.
like, there was a lot of freedom fighting and everything going on. From their point of view, it was terrorism, because you are controlling a colony and they are challenging your power and everything. So if I have any suspicion that this guy is associated with those people, I'll just pick you up and throw it in the jail.
Mm.
That it was that bad. See, you don't know all of these things.
I don't,
and this is very
I wish I
interesting.
did.
Yeah, and it is
Honestly.
not taught in all of this. We are taught, we are learned.